My name is Sasha, and I'm a popular singer with the wealthiest parents in town. Selling out concerts and dealing with fans sounds fun, but you know what's even cooler? Partying all night long in the middle of one of my shows. I escaped with my boyfriend Theo to go to the biggest island party ever. But when he pulled over to a helicopter pad, my excitement turned to panic. I thought we were using a yacht. You know I have a phobia of heights, right? He just scoffed. It's a 5-minute ride. You're being melodramatic. Get over it. I was stunned. Enjoy the party without this drama queen then. Babe, I didn't even want to look at him. Come on, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I just ignored him and stormed off. As I walked back toward the city, I noticed a person in a hooded jacket following me. I wasn't scared. I was annoyed. I grabbed my stiletto and yelled, "Why are you hiding, dude? Are you scared? Don't worry, I don't bite." To my surprise, he just threw a magazine at me and ran away. What the fudge? I picked it up and realized it was one of my magazines, but someone had drawn a death threat all over my face. Unfortunately for him, I was fearless, but the threats kept coming all weekend. My parents had always wanted to hire a bodyguard for me, but I didn't want some boring old guy following me around. This time, though, they wouldn't take no for an answer. When I finally saw my bodyguard, I almost passed out. He was the most exquisite specimen of a man I had ever seen, and he looked just a few years older than me. "Hey, handsome, are you sure you're a bodyguard and not my next boyfriend?" To my surprise, he didn't even crack a smile. "Rude, you look too young for this job. How can I trust you?" Suddenly, a ball from our neighbor came hurling right at me, and he instantly caught it with one hand. Trust me, I'm really good at my job. You can check my records. Your father has everything you need. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's go. He opened the car door for me, and as I slipped in, I accidentally brushed my shoulder against his chest. Oh my, it felt harder than a rock. When we arrived at school, Theo did not look happy to see me with my young, ridiculously hot bodyguard. He pulled me aside. "Look, babe, I know I insulted you the other night, but getting back at me by flirting with another guy. How could you? He's my freaking bodyguard. I'm still mad at you, and now you're accusing me of cheating." Suddenly, Damon stepped in. "Is there a problem here?" Theo shot back. "Stay out of this, man." He tried to push Damon aside, but in a flash, Damon pounced on him and pinned him to the ground. "What the heck are you doing? Let go of me, idiot. Hey, stop it." Damon finally released my boyfriend after a minute. As expected, Theo went psycho. I immediately blocked him before he got his butt kicked again. "That's enough, Theo. He's just doing his job." Theo looked furious. "Why do you need a bodyguard when you have me? I'm your boyfriend. I'll protect you." Just then, a tiny spider landed on his shoulder, and he ran away screaming, "Yeah, protect my butt." As I walked down the hall with Damon, girls were literally drooling all over him. He looks more like a model than a bodyguard. He can be the father of my children. He's way more attractive than Theo. I really want to feel his biceps. These girls sounded so desperate, but I had to admit they weren't wrong. When I reached our classroom, my best friend Tessa came up to me with my favorite coffee. "Hey girl, so I brought you your..." Suddenly, Damon snatched it and started sniffing it. He then took a sip and waited a few seconds before saying "clear" as he gave it back to me. Tessa was glaring at him. "Excuse me, did you really think that I'd poison my best friend?" Damon just stared back, just doing my job. Tessa then dragged me to a corner. "So, you're giving up your privacy just like that? I can see he's very attractive, but something about him screams bad news. He even sounds like a demon. You have to get rid of him ASAP. Oh, come on, girl. It's just his first day. Let's see." But Tessa was right. I didn't have a second of privacy. Damon followed me around every frickin' second. He stood behind me in all my classes and even waited outside the restroom. It was so awkward. At home, he'd just stand outside my door, and I swear I never saw him sleep. And worse, he had this permanent ice-cold expression on his face that gave me chills. I had a recording event one night, and when I reached the studio, a guy came rushing toward me. He was about to draw something from his back pocket when suddenly Damon grabbed his arm and twisted it. "Drop your weapon," the guy yelped. "What?" "I just wanted an autograph from her, man." Damon let go of the poor guy, and it was so embarrassing. "What's the matter with you? I'm a popular singer. You have to get used to my fans." He just replied with his usual line, "Just doing my job. Calm down. Sasha, calm down." The next day at school, Theo kept following me around to apologize, but I still ignored him. He finally got my attention, though my producer cousin is throwing an exclusive yacht party with some Alistairs this weekend. She's a fan of yours and she'd be ecstatic if you came. Parties were my weakness. Not so fast, sweetheart. Hang out with me tomorrow, he begged. Okay, fine. Theo also requested that I not bring Damon to our date. So that night, I had to talk to him in private. "My job is not to leave your side for a minute. So sorry, can't do." He was so firm about this, so I finally gave up and let him come with us. We went to a private movie theater and watched a super sad movie together. Minutes into the movie, Theo and I were already crying our hearts out, while Damon had no reaction at all. What was he? A robot? After the movie, we went to a fancy restaurant, and I was having a good time with the lobster until Theo started forcing himself on me. "Just one kiss. Babe, come on." "Not now, Theo. We're in a public place and people are staring." But he was persistent. Just then, Damon grabbed him and threw him away, like a piece of paper. Theo was furious. He grabbed a chair, but before he could hit Damon with it, I pushed him away. "Stop it right now. Your stupid bodyguard started it. Why don't you tell him to get a life and go home to his mummy?" "No, Theo, you go home." I immediately called him a cab, and when he was finally gone, I turned to Damon angrily. I know he was being a jerk, but I can handle my personal life. You don't have to interfere every freaking second. He was disrespecting your personal space. Your job is to keep me safe, not to meddle in my personal matters. Know your boundaries. Apologies. It will never happen again. I actually didn't mind that Theo got the thrashing he deserved, but Damon always being around was just getting on my nerves. A few days later at a concert, I was performing my newest single and everyone was singing along with me. It felt amazing. Some of them even started climbing up on the stage to join me. Suddenly, Damon jumped in and pushed them off stage. What in the world? He then lifted me and carried me to the backstage in the middle of my freaking performance. I finally had enough. My parents are paying you to protect me, not to annoy me and screw up my concerts. Your life is in danger, ma'am. You have to treat everyone as an enemy. That is ridiculous. Whoever sends those stupid threats is probably just some harmless loser. Better to be safe than sorry. I complained to my parents about his behavior, but they praised him for it. But he's ruining my career and even my personal life. He's just doing his job, honey, and that's to make sure you're safe all the time. They were hopeless cases, so I resorted to Tessa instead, and she came up with a plan. Test his patience, annoy him. Do everything you can to make him quit. You're good at that, you gorgeous brat. I love the sound of it. Girl, you're the best. Of course I am. I stayed up till 4 a.m. that night to disturb Damon in his sleep, but to my surprise, he was already up. I need you to get my favorite Starbucks coffee. That's not part of my job description. Do it, or I'll make your job harder. Fine. What's your order? 1 iced venti caramel macchiato with 6 shots of mocha. 1/4 oat milk. 1/8 almond milk, with medium whipped cream and a caramel drizzle with a rose design on top, in a biodegradable takeaway cup with a pink straw. Got it? What? I was just messing with him, but to my surprise, he immediately left. And holy mother of toads, he came back with my exact order. How? Anything else? That's all for now. Later that day, I went to the mall and went on a crazy shopping spree, making him carry all my bags to tire him out. But he was like a machine. I entered a clothing store, and as I tried on all the prettiest clothes, I kept asking for his opinion, but he wasn't paying attention. Hello, aren't you going to give me a compliment or something? Giving an opinion about your outfits is not part of my job. Ma'am, any normal guy would have been drooling over me by now. He must be a cyborg. To get back at him, I faked a sprain and forced him to carry me on his back, but he was still as strong as a freaking tank. Finally giving up, I went to the bathroom with everything I'd bought and escaped through the window. After making sure that I'd lost him, I went to an orphanage and gave out all the clothes to the kids. While I was having fun with them, Tessa sent me some pictures of Theo kissing a blonde girl in a restaurant. At this point, I didn't even care. Theo was trash. I immediately sent him a message and told him that we were done. He was the worst boyfriend anyway. He started calling me immediately. so I just blocked him. Problem solved. Later, I went to a local club to celebrate my breakup, and while I was dancing my heart out, I was shocked to see someone watching me from the bar. Damon, of course. He tracked me down. A cute guy tried to dance with me, and suddenly Damon came and pushed him away. Hey, listen, buddy, I'm sick of this. If you're going to keep scaring away all the other guys, you dance with me. I don't mix business with pleasure. Dance with me or go sit quietly in a corner while I find someone. Before I could poke the guy next to me, Damon suddenly grabbed my hand to dance. Just then, the song shifted to a slow, romantic one, and he pulled me in closer by the waist. It's not so bad, is it? If you say so, ma'am. You can say my name, you know. If you say so, Sasha. He had the faintest smile on his face. His face was so close to mine, and my heart skipped a beat. We slow danced, and he looked deep into my eyes. Just as his face came closer, he suddenly pulled away, like he'd had an electric shock. We need to go home, but it's still early. For safety reasons, ma'am. He was so annoying. When we got home, I saw a box sitting on my bed. I opened it and rats. They jumped out and started running all over my room. Damon saw a little note inside, and for the first time ever, his expression scared me for real. Someone broke into your room. This person means business. We have to be more careful, ma'am. He suggested I shouldn't go to school for the next few days for safety, and I agreed. A few nights later, my manager called to remind me about my concert in Paris the next day. It was my biggest one yet, and I had to go. I don't think you should be making public appearances until we find out who's trying to hurt you. No, I'm not going to let some creep scare me and decide what I should do. This was planned in advance. All the tickets are sold, and I'm not cancelling. Damon was forced to allow it, but on one condition: we had to share a hotel room so he could keep a constant eye on me. When we finally got to Paris, I rehearsed my songs all night while he just stood there, constantly looking out the window. The next morning, I found him still asleep on the couch. That's when something on the floor caught my attention. A picture of a beautiful girl in his wallet. She looked around my age. I quickly put the wallet away, feeling something weird. Was I jealous? No, of course not. Why would I care if he had a girlfriend? Hours before the concert, while my makeup team was working on me, Damon suddenly snatched me away. Can't you just postpone this? It's too dangerous. I told you, I can't. Please, Sasha, just listen to me. I care about you, you know. Oh, do you? I thought I was just another client. Just do your job, which is to keep me alive, and let me do mine, which is to entertain people. And actually, I prefer it when you call me ma'am. You got me loud and clear, ma'am. During my concert, I tried not to think about Damon or the death threats. It was going so well. In the middle of my performance, I saw Damon in the crowd, and he was smiling at me. He looked so lovely. No, snap out of it, Sasha. He has a girlfriend. While I was singing my fourth song, I suddenly spotted a hooded figure in the crowd, and he was aiming something at me. No, no, no. I froze in panic. But just then, a strong pair of arms grabbed me and carried me off the stage. I looked up to see Damon's tense face. "Stay here, don't move." He returned a few minutes later, saying he'd lost the hooded figure. I was still shaking in fear. He gently picked me up, and we returned to the hotel. He tucked me into bed and sat on a chair close by. I closed my eyes and tried to sleep, feeling safe as he watched over me. Sometime later, I felt him fixing my blanket and gently caressing my cheek as he left. Why did he do that? And why was it giving me a heart attack? When I woke up the next morning, I peeked into the kitchen and smiled. I saw him dancing while cooking our breakfast. It was the first time I saw him looking so cute. I felt shy when he turned to me. I didn't have any makeup on. "That's the first time I've seen you without makeup. You look even more beautiful than usual. Is complimenting me part of your job now?" Maybe. I knew it. No one can resist my charms, not even my emotionless bodyguard. I wonder what your girlfriend would say about this. I assume you're talking about the picture of the girl in my wallet. Gosh, was he actually awake that time? He revealed that the girl was his sister. They grew up in an orphanage together. He lost her because he failed to protect her, and that's why he became a bodyguard. She'd always wanted to go to Paris and go up the Eiffel Tower. I suddenly felt brave. Let's go there. Then, for her. After what happened yesterday, there's no way I'm allowing you to go anywhere. Also, I know from your file that you're afraid of heights. I'm not scared when I have you around. I'll be fine, I promise. He finally agreed. But later, as we were getting onto the escalator at the Eiffel Tower, he must have noticed I was nervous. "Are you sure about this? We can just go back, you know?" "No, I can do this." When we reached the top, I squealed and covered my eyes. "But you made it to the top. You have to see this view." I don't know if I can. How about you take a look, and we'll go down. But I don't want you to miss this, Sasha. I've got you. Do you trust me? Yes, I do. Okay then. Open your eyes when I say so. I kept my eyes shut as he led me forward, and then suddenly I felt his arms wrap around my waist. Now I opened my eyes, and I gasped. I was so close to the edge, and the whole glittering city was in front of me. I had never felt safer in my life. Damon, yes. Have you ever fallen for a client? My smile instantly faded at his question. He told me he could never be emotionally involved with me. It would compromise his job. So I figured it was all in my head. He wasn't feeling what I was feeling. He was just a professional being nice to his client. A week later, it was time to head back to school for final exams. I was looking for my best friend, Tessa, hoping we could hit the library together for a study session, but she was nowhere to be found. I decided to just find a spot and study alone. I told Damon to stand by the door so I could concentrate without distractions. But just a few minutes later, he suddenly burst in, yelling, "Sasha, look out!" Before I could even process what was happening, I saw the huge bookshelf right behind me start to wobble and fall. It felt like slow motion, but Damon was faster. He leaped across the room, pushed me out of the way, and the massive shelf crashed down right on top of him. He ended up in the hospital for a whole week. My parents were freaking out, insisting I stay home where it was safe. But I couldn't. I had to see him. I went to the hospital every single day. One afternoon, while I was in the waiting area, Tessa showed up. She had my favorite coffee in her hand, smiling. "Thought you could use a pick-me-up," she said. I reached for it, but just as my fingers were about to touch the cup, a hand smacked it out of my grasp, sending hot coffee flying everywhere. I looked up, shocked, and saw Damon standing there, looking furious. And next to him was a police officer who immediately snapped handcuffs onto Tessa's wrists. "What are you doing?" I yelled at the officer. "Damon, what is going on?" I was completely bewildered. And then Damon dropped a bombshell that shattered my entire world. "Tessa was the one who pushed the bookshelf on you," he said, his voice grim. "I've been keeping an eye on her, studying her behavior. That day, I saw her sneak into the library through the back door, and I knew she was up to no good. I'm sure that coffee she brought you is poisoned. To my best friend. Trying to hurt me. It didn't make any sense." I turned to her, my voice trembling. "Tessa ... why?" Suddenly, her face twisted into a mask of pure rage. "Because I hate you," she shrieked. "You have everything I've ever wanted. The looks, the talent, the fame, the money. Life is so unfair. I would have gotten rid of you ages ago if your stupid bodyguard was such a pain." Her confession was a venomous stream of jealousy and resentment as the officer dragged her away, still screaming. I just stood there, speechless, my mind reeling. The person I trusted most in the world had been plotting against me all this time. Damon gently pulled me into a hug, his arms wrapping around me securely. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. I nodded into his chest, taking a shaky breath. "I'll be fine," I managed to say. "How are you? You're the one who just got out of the hospital." "I'm okay," he said, pulling back slightly to look at me. "But ... I can't be your bodyguard anymore, Sasha." My heart sank. "What? Why?" I asked, a new wave of panic rising. "I just can't," he said, his eyes filled with an emotion I'd never seen before. "I can't fight my feelings for you anymore, and it's wrong for me to be your bodyguard when I feel this way." I looked at him. At this man who had literally saved my life, who saw the danger I was blind to, and who was now confessing his feelings for me. A slow smile spread across my face. "Okay," I said. "So ... if I fire you right now, will you be my boyfriend instead?" He didn't even need to answer. Without a word, he cupped my face in his hands and finally kissed me. And yeah, I definitely took that as a yes.